All right, so this is gonna be a two-parter, and that's the second time I've hit the video to when it screen starts to go dark and inadvertently hit the stop button. So I already redid this once. I'm not gonna redo it twice, so it's just gonna have to be a two-parter. We were on Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, I was trying to think of a Fleetwood Mac song that I like. The only thing that really comes to mind, Tusk, the title to the follow-up album to Rumors, is an okay song. Not okay enough that I'd go out and buy the thing, but I guess that's all right. Otherwise, and again, not a band that I despise or anything. Just where I just never got the appeal. I was probably, I think it was like in seventh grade when Rumors was brand new and topped the charts for months and was just everywhere, and you couldn't avoid it, and just never. I don't get the appeal. It was especially because that's was when that came out in '77, and it was so much. All of a sudden, all this great good music that was around. The Clash, Elvis Costello, The Dam, Sex Pistols, Ramones, Jam, on and on and on. And but in America, everyone was listening to the boring music instead of the good music, unfortunately, or most people were. So Fleetwood Mac, just not that jazzed about. The third band would be Aerosmith. Uh, Again, nothing really against them. I know a lot of people love them. Just kind of like Fleetwood Mac. Not a terrible band, really, but just never got the appeal. Trying to think of an Aerosmith song that I ever liked, and nothing's coming to mind. To me, they were just kind of silly and seemed like they were going to be going for sort of a mix of Led Zeppelin and Sticky Fingers era Rolling Stones sound, and weren't anywhere near as good as either of those bands. And then, unfortunately, like the Rolling Stones, they don't have the good sense to call it a day and go away. I think they're still going, still around. They're 98 years old or whatever, and still running out on stage and trying to be badass rock and roll outlaws. And but even back in the '70s, when that stuff was brand new, and then they had hits in the '80s too. Um, it just leaves me flat. No no interest in them at all. Number four, and I hate to call this guy out because I think he's dead now. I think he's a really good guy. He used to have a show on XM radio. It was a good show. He played a lot of great old '60s and '50s and '70s music. His heart was in the right place, I believe. I think he really loved rock and music and had good taste in music. He railed against and fought against the corporatization of rock and roll, to his credit, against the rising album prices and against the VIP concert packages for yuppies buying that stuff as a status symbol. Really could care less about the bands or the music, the calcification of rock radio to where it's now just unlistable classic rock or oldies that just plays the same stuff over and over and over. So a really good guy, I think he was, but unfortunately to me, heart in the right place. But his music's just is about as exciting as a sink full of dirty dishwater. And yeah, Tom Petty, um, okay singer, guitar player, all right. Songs, boring but all right. Not terrible, nothing against him. I even saw him in concert, I think 82, 83, 82, which was, now that I think about it, one of the duller concerts that I saw in my life, even though he did a good enough show for what he does. Uh, yeah, nothing against him, just a good guy, but just a dull guy and a dull music, dull. I think American Girl and Refugee were okay. Nothing I would buy again, but they've been so run into the ground by classic rock radio that if I never hear them again, it'd be more than fine with me. And the rest of his stuff, well, Don't Come Around Here No More. That's probably his best song. That's all right. Wouldn't buy it, but it's all right. But yeah, the Don't Mess with Mary Jane and Free Fallin' and all that snooze fest music. Just and then the the sad thing was that he was one of the two non-essential members, in my opinion, of the Traveling Wilburys, because you had Dylan and George and Orbison, and he had Jeff Lynne, who's all right, because ELO's all right, but still definitely a junior member. And then you had Petty, and the Wilburys were good, no doubt about it, but how much better would they have been, or say Joe Strummer or Paul Weller or somebody that actually had a little bit of a pulse to their music instead of boring old Tom Petty? But a lot of people love him, and I'm glad he's around or was around, and he's a good guy. I have nothing against him personally, just dull music. Where do I buy my records? I buy, that's four, that's enough. I've probably already got enough people riled up. Um, Guns N' Roses, Eminem, all 90s music. I don't know, I could go on if you want more to get up in arms about. Buy my music, some of it on the Amazon and or eBay. Um, Most of it I go to a place called Doc's Record, like What's Up Doc, that's in Fort Worth. It's been around for relatively new place. I think it's been around about 14 years or so. Good record store, got a really good selection. They have a lot of used vinyl comes in and out, so it's always fun to check the used vinyl. They have a just in used bin, broken up by rock and soul and then kind of heavy metal and some other categories. So before they put it out into the regular where it goes in the store. So always a good selection. The prices are pretty decent. They have some good collectibles and so forth. And I've gotten some bargains there. I got Lennon Legend, the double LP, which is out of print and hard to find and really pricey. I got it for like $40 there, which I've seen that now going for 100 or more. So good store, good selection. And the other one is um, Record Town, which has been in Fort Worth since like 1949, 1951. So a long stay place that's around before I was born. And I remember going there as a kid with my family, and then later on as when I was got into music when I was in grammar school and high school and so forth, and through the years I still go there. So owned by the same family up until about earlier last year. They finally sold it, and was always in the same location until last year. The building they were in, the rent got too expensive, so they had to move to another place in Fort Worth. Where they were had a classic sign that said Record Town, had a record, had Nipper the dog from RCA on it. Um, I'm sure that they'll probably put something useless in the space where they were for 50, 60 something years, probably put a Subway or Einstein's Bagels or what do you call it, Starbucks or something useless. Anyway, just a great store through the years, and a lot of great memories of going there. I could one of these days I'm make a video about record stores from back in the day that aren't around anymore, and some of them that are still around that I have fond memories of. But just a great place, and they in the old store that they moved out of, you could see where the old listening booths were. Where back in the I think that stopped in the '60s, but you could listen to records before you bought them. And they still had the old counter where they sell record needles and have the, of course, things on computer now, but they still have the big, huge set of books that we go through. They have all the records that are available listed, and just a cool little store. So yeah, Docks and Record Town in Fort Worth. There's some others in Fort Worth that are pretty good, but those are my two mainstays. I think that's it. I hope you guys watch both these videos. Sorry about the interruption in the middle there. Yeah, cool. Thanks, Hannah. Congratulations and many more subs to you.